Welcome to the Kennedy Mine Model Tour. I'd like to introduce you to Mr. Robert Post. He is responsible for building our mine models here at the Amador County Museum. He built the head frame behind me, the stamp mill over to my right, and the wheels. They're housed in a little building, and you'll be able to see this a little bit later. Now, Mr. Robert Post worked on this project for a period of 10 years. His father was instrumental in helping to build the large actual Kennedy wheels, and he was an engineer, and he built this in his garage in Sutter Creek back in the 1970s. This is the head frame of the Kennedy, and it was built in miniature scale, 1 inch to a foot, by Mr. Robert Post. The head frame was used to carry the men down more than a mile under the earth to get the gold and to bring the gold up. This is the hoist house, and it's also built in scale model. It was used to, the skip tender would turn on the hoist, and it would hoist the skips. One would go up and one would come down, and this is the way he controlled it. They had a bell system, and it would show the levels where the men were located. Like 5 bells would be on the 1,000-foot level, and the cables would go more than a mile down, over 5,950 feet. Once they got down there, most people think it's cool, but not really. It was about 110 degrees. They would just wear their hard hats, no shirt, towel wrapped around them. The sweat would just roll off their bodies. So it was pretty unbearable, but they all had gold fever and had hopes of getting that gold out. This is the actual size of the stamps. Each stamp weighed 187 pounds, and they had 175 of these stamps going 24 hours a day. Between the Argonaut and the Kennedy, there were at least that many going, and you could hear it 5 miles away. These are the Kennedy wheels, and would you believe that in those days they had a little EPA control? The California legislature told them they could no longer put the tailings into the creeks and streams because it was killing the cattle below. So they sent their engineer to Montana to observe the way these wheels were built, and they came back and had Mr. Robert Post's father, Eldridge Post, build the wheels according to our terrain here. Now, the way they worked, each one of them were built 58 feet tall, and they had a flume between each one of the wheels. The tailings would drop down into the flume, go into the little buckets that are in the center of the wheels that form buckets, and the tailings would drop into the buckets and take it into another flume, and it would be turned to go to the next flume into the next wheel. And there were 4 of the wheels, and it would take it 1/2 mile from the stamp mill all the way over into the impounding dam to get rid of the tailings. And the tailings were what was left over after the mercury separated the gold from the rest of the minerals.